So what we want to talk about today is going to be about breeding. We'd like to talk about from when you think your dog's about ready to be bred till the point that you've got her bred, or a week or two after. So we want to talk about things that can go wrong, like pyometria. But we want to talk about that 3-week window, a week prior to and a couple of weeks after, might be 4 weeks. That's what we'd like to talk to today. But I'm going to answer one question first, because somebody had actually texted me this, and they want to know what's going on with absorbed puppies that have been absorbed. So let's just talk about that for a few seconds. So what the heck is going on here? So I think a lot of this is that it was a wrong diagnosis when somebody said there were puppies there in the first place. And so how would that happen? Ultrasound. The reason that people think their dog is pregnant is because they have an ultrasound done, because that's besides a relaxant pregnancy test, well, the ultrasound is really the first thing that gives you clear indication that maybe your dog is pregnant. And so some vets will say they can do this as early as 3 weeks, day 21. Now, I think that you need to wait till day 30, and even then, it's a little bit iffy. I see a lot of times that people's vet techs will say the dog's pregnant when it's not, because they're looking at balls of turds or whatever in the intestines and mistaking that for being a puppy. I think that happens a lot. I think there's a lot of technique here and skill that's required by the technician running the ultrasound. And I think that false positives are very common. And because you get a false positive, you think, oh, you go home and say, hey, a dog's pregnant, we're going to have puppies here in another couple of months or less. And then it's a no-show. And the fact of the matter is the dog was never pregnant in the first place. And so we then mistakenly say, oh, that dog absorbed the puppies. Tammy's not going to like this part, which she sees here in a moment.
What?
Look at the screen.
Oh, no. Yes. Well, it means I have to be close to you.
Well, means we'll push us back a little bit. Maybe you can see us both.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just have to get our heads together. So the problem we've got here is we've got to put this in this mode because it won't let me turn it for some stupid reason. So, yeah.
You don't have me on.
Yeah, let's get Tammy plugged in here and turned on. There you go. Okay. All right, should be able to hear Tammy now. And you want me to get you set up on this?
Yes.
Sorry here, folks. I've got to get Tammy set up as well, which will take me a couple of seconds. But look through those questions, Tammy, as you're putting that on.
Okay.
I'm going to get this set up and see if you've got any there that you want to have the bash at.
All right. Says something about being better. I guess you had problems with the phone.
Yes, I've had all kinds
Hello from Maryland. Hello from South Carolina. We are pregnant. I hope it's your dog. Or it could be you. That'd be great. Let's see. That's better. Back to the same question I had last time. You had a puppy born with a tan body that starts to grow black spots as it gets older. Huh. That was me talking.
Yeah, I know.
Right there.
I'm still fighting it. Still fighting. Sorry.
Okay. Black spots as it got older. Would it have been a brindle?
Whenever anybody says anything about spots, I think of
well, it said it was a puppy born with tan body, then starts to grow black spots as it gets older.
Well, give me 2 seconds here. I'm trying to get you plugged in.
Okay, here's another one. What's going on? Dad is a lilac. Mom is a brindle. I don't know what's going on.
Here we go.
Oh, this is the same person saying what his dog is.
So you've got that. Now you can read that.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Mom is lilac and Dad is, what did it say? And Dad is a brindle. Oh, okay. Well, it may not be tan if Mom's a lilac and Dad's a brindle.
Well, look, I don't need to tell me and I go direct answer to this. I mean, so, here's the answer, DNA test. That's the answer. Always in these things, DNA test, animal genetics, who we like to use, everybody's about the same price, but animal genetics get answers back really quickly, typically within a few days of the sample hitting their door.
Yeah, do a DNA.
Do a DNA. I'll do this for us a little bit.
No, I just messed it up.
Okay, you hit on that right there. Right there. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Then Unbelievables says, hey, Rossi is going great. Okay. He was beautiful when he was here, and he was even more beautiful after he went home with you. He's a good-looking stud boy, and very proud of that boy, and I'm sure you are too.
Susan
I
Wulan.
did that again.
Day 18 of season and progesterone is 1.3. Is there a chance she isn't going to release eggs? So there's a great question to do with today's subject. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, for asking a question that's relevant to what we're supposed to be talking about. Well, I mean, here's the deal. What is going on? You know, you think that a dog that's day 18, progesterone level would have already been spiked and have bred the dog, or you'd be close to it. Whereas a dog that's at a 1.3 is only about, for a normal thing, it would be about 6 days in. So what's going on? So let's talk about possibilities here. Well, this is an unlikely possibility, but possible. And that is the dog is not in heat, but in fact, the dog has got cysts on the dog's uterus. And that can make progesterone levels rise and make you think into the fact that a dog's having a heat when it's not. Now, would you see that in younger dogs? No. It's more likely to happen in older dogs that had a chance to form cysts on the uterus. And how often do I see this? Very infrequently, but it can happen. So that's one possibility. How would you diagnose that? You'd go get an ultrasound done, and you'd look for those cysts on the uterus. So that's one possibility. The next one is the dog's just having what I call a prolonged heat. It's just going to take forever. This I do see quite a bit in young dogs. So this is the kind of thing that you see in a dog that's maybe just a year old, and it's having this very prolonged heat cycle that the engine never really gets going. This may be the dog's first heat. This could be a dog that might be just as much as a year and a half old, but it's its first heat. The engine's not going properly. It's only firing on one cylinder. It's just not getting the flywheel's not turning very well, and it's just not getting running. What do you do in these situations? You've got to keep on testing. But I recommend, because it can get expensive here. By the way, that's one of the reasons why having your own progesterone machine relieves you of that expense significantly. And lets you run tests. I can run a test for like, $10. I get the results in 30 minutes. I did one today for a dog. But I diverged. What was I trying to tell you? Yes. So if you've not have the luxury of having your own machine, but it's costing you money to get tests done, then a dog that's at a 1, I would test that dog again when either 5 days has lapsed, or if its blood color is red, it starts to lighten up in color. And the lightening up in color doesn't always work, but it works most of the time. And it can really save you a lot of extra testing. So I don't get too excited about testing a dog. I mean, I get a dog typically tested about day 7, day 9, somewhere in there, sooner if the blood color has gone light. I'm going to give you an example of this because we had one today. So we've got a co-owned dog that was at day 7, and we ran the test on the dog, and I swatted the dog's back end, and it was really light.
Well, she's my whelped dog.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not.
Whelped. Yeah.
Anyway, her progesterone level was 45. So like, damn it, we missed that. So we missed it, and I mean, it happens. Yeah. And we're supposed to know what we're doing.
Her first heat too.
It was her first heat. So this dog went to 45 in 7 days.
Yes.
Well, we think.
Yeah.
She wasn't with us, so we're not completely sure, but exactly.
Yeah.
She
was with my whelper, so
yes.
And that's little Coco. She's a little
tiny little thing.
Yes.
Tiny little thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the point here is that most dogs, their progesterone level starts going up slowly. About day 5, it's got to a point of about level of 1, and it's raising up about 1 point a day. So by day 9, it's around a 5 ovulation. A couple of days later, that dog's numbers have really shot up. It's around a 15 or 20, and it's ready to be bred. That's a normal dog. And during that time, lots of blood, bad ovulation, little blood. By breeding time, probably no blood at all. Normal dog. But not all dogs are normal. So you have to take this whole big picture in, because if you don't, you will occasionally get it wrong. And furthermore, the unfortunate thing about this is you've got to remember that your vet, although they're very skilled and they know a lot about dogs in general, may not know much about this, because a lot of this comes from experience and they haven't had it. So I'm not saying don't listen to your vet, but what I am saying is listen to your vet and listen to Tami and me as well. And with that information, you've got a better chance of getting a dog pregnant. All right.
You know, Alaska's watching us, and Phoenix.
And Hawaii.
And Hawaii.
Yes. Okay, Royal Bulldogs of Canada. There's your Canadian people. And by the way, guys, if you haven't given us a thumbs up, we'd really like that. Give us a thumbs up. So we've already got 10. We'd like to have 50 before this is done. And we've got a lot of people watching us. That's great. Okay, so Royal Bulldogs of Canada, when having semen shipped, would you still skip a day between inseminations or do back-to-backs for better motility? Well, there's a couple of questions that I have to ask. First one is, did they ship 2 samples in one container? Because if they did, then you've got this problem about how long will the semen stay alive for. So, the freshness of the semen. So that's one thing, because he talks about loss of motility, and loss of motility could come because the semen's now kind of sitting in the refrigerator and kind of stewing for days. But generally, I like to do 2 AIs 2 days apart. And the reason for that is that although we go by progesterone levels and think we know what we're talking about, we only approximately know what we're talking about. And the thing that really gives you more, if you go 2 days apart, you've got a better chance of hitting the right numbers. And remember this, semen that you put in today is probably good for 24 hours. So you don't necessarily have to put it in the next day. That's why I'd like to skip a day. That's why I like to do 2 inseminations 2 days apart, and it basically gives you a 3-day window to get this right. So it gives you a better chance of getting it right. And I do see lots of times when people have bred dogs and they're coming up and saying, oh, it's 61 days ready for a C-section, and their dog's not ready. And the reason is they started breeding too early. So this spreads the whole thing out and gives you a better chance of getting it right. But it all depends as well, Royal Canines of Canada, how they ship this semen. And so what kind of shape it's in and how you're going to keep it cool for the sample you're not using. So there's other questions that are part of that, which I can't answer because I don't know the situation. Unbelievable French's says, do you breed on the first heat? Tami?
No, we don't.
I say sometimes.
Well, the only time we do is if they're a year old. If they're 11 and a half months old, then we'll go ahead and breed that female.
Yeah.
But if they're a year old and after a year old and it's their first heat, you definitely want to breed. It's okay then, but not when they're 9 and 10 months old. You do not want to breed them then if that's their first heat.
Why not?
Well, they're too young.
Because I'm not playing devil's out. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not trying to disagree with you. I get in trouble for disagreeing with my wife. You're right, by the way. Your answer is bang on. But there's people who are going to say, well, okay, so fine. You want to breed when they're over a year old. What happens if they come in at 9 months? Why wouldn't you breed them? And what Tami says is they're not old enough. And I think it's more of a maturity issue thing.
They're too immature. Sometimes they won't take care of those babies. And plus, it's not good for her. She's not fully all.
Well, so I mean, in nature, they'd be bred. I think the biggest thing is they just don't get bred, is what typically happens. Dogs that have their first heat, it tends to be erratic. It's hard to time it. They don't get bred successfully.
We've had our females not get bred on their first heat. When
and I mean, here's one sucky thing. And like today, when we elected not to breed that dog, right? Because we were basically probably a day or more late. The question was, look, if we breed her and we're going to get one puppy, this is a sucky situation.
And I asked James, I said, is she having a split heat? He says, no, she's not having a split heat.
Nope.
But I'm having my whelper go ahead, which is Shelly. She's going to go ahead and wait a week to see if she comes in. If not, then probably right at 6 months, she'll come into heat.
Yes. But anyway, so the answer is we like to wait. And we've never had a problem breeding a dog as young as a year old. We have never tried to breed a dog that's younger than that.
No.
So and I've had bred lots of dogs that are in that year to a year and a quarter range. And some of them, it would have been their first heat. And they don't all get pregnant, but we've never been in a situation where we bred the dog and then we said, that was a bad move. This mum is worthless as a mum at this point. Never seen that happen yet.
No.
Not to say that some dogs are better mothers than others.
No.
Right?
No. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Omar Robinson. My girl is Big B Little D, so she carries testable chocolate. Little CO, so she's a cocoa dog. Big D Little D. Right, so what we've got here is a chocolate dog or a cocoa dog that carries the other version of chocolate and blue. Bred to a dog that is Big B, so we're not going to get any testable chocolate out of this. Little CO, every dog is going to be chocolate. And Big D, no blue. So we know exactly what we're going to get. We will get out of this all chocolate dogs, of which half of those dogs will carry blue, and half of those dogs will carry testable chocolate as well. That's it. That's what you're going to get. And the ratios that you get, of course, is determined by probability. And so when I say half, it doesn't mean that there's guarantee that you're going to get, if you had 5 dogs, you can't have, 2.5 dogs of the chocolate. So, this is all based on flip of a coin type thing. It's the bigger the litter size is, the more closer. If you have a single puppy, yeah, who knows what you're going to get. But if you had 10 puppies, you're probably going to split 50-50. All right.
It's somebody that bought little Mark, Jordan. She says, hey, he's doing great. So Mark is our last litter that Shelley had helped
God form. Well, great, good. Well, thanks for filling
to help
in. Yes,
whelp.
good.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Glad he's doing good.
We've got
He's a cute little dog.
He was a very cute dog.
He was very pretty.
Yes.
Very pretty.
Okay, so somebody just gave us some money. That's nice. Evan Estrella. So I'm going to answer that question next, since they gave us some money. That's the way to behave, by the way. We like the thumbs up and we like the money, but you don't have to send money for us to answer questions. But again, here's a question. Even asked. I have a cream Merle French male. What would you recommend I breed him with? All right, so the first thing is that he's not physically going to look Merle because he's cream. The cream covers it up.
You had the DNA to make sure that he had Merle. We know that for fact.
No, we don't, but I'm sure that's the case. Plus, also, this dog may have a funny colored eye too. So, Merle dog, cream dogs, of course, you can't tell anything about them without having DNA tests.
Yeah, exactly. She had to know by doing a DNA test, because he's 2 copies of.
Well, it's a great question. It's a great
cream. He's a cream covered. I mean, yeah.
See, I'd want to have the DNA test done.
Yeah. Don't know if he's blue or lilac.
Well, they didn't say that. So,
no, I know.
But the danger here, by the way, is that because you had a Merle parent, you assume that you've got a Merle dog and you can't see it because it's cream. That would not be correct. The reason you can't see the Merle is because either it's not there, because remember, the Merle parent only had a single copy, and on average only gave it out to half the puppies. So you've got to test that dog, and that's what Tammy's saying. So what would you breed that? Well, Tammy, what would you breed that dog to?
A cream Merle?
Yes.
Well, I'd like to know if he's lilac or.
Let's just say he's a cream Merle. That's all we know about him. He's a cream Merle.
Well, I'd breed him to a solid blue and tan, or lilac and tan, or a chocolate and tan, or just a chocolate or blue, or.
All over the place, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm not going to breed to another Merle.
That's one of the things you're definitely not going to. Why would you not breed to a Merle?
Right, because you could have deaf or blind puppies.
Yeah, 25% of the litter are going to have 2 copies of Merle.
It's not good.
Not good. Not good.
If you do it, you might get away with it once, but I wouldn't do it. It's
so now, if you breed to another cream dog, you're going to get all cream dogs across the board, guaranteed, no questions about it. And so the question then gets to be, is that what you want? The problem with cream dogs is that although I think cream dogs are beautiful, they don't show some of the inherent colors like blue.
They're really pretty.
Yes, but you won't get the benefit of the Merles. All the other colors that you could see will not be present. So that would not be my first choice. Now, I think you need to go predicate this by having a DNA test done, so you can find out what other colors. If this is a brindle dog, then you're going to have brindle puppies, and you can make some of those puppies not look brindle by making them either Merle or cream. If it's not a crimble dog, then what is it, a fawn dog underneath that cream? In which case you're going to get fawn Merles, which are not particularly interesting, are they?
Well, some of them are. They're few and far between.
If they're marked up a lot.
Right.
As opposed to being not marked up much. Right. Yeah. So the answer to this is, although you spend $10 to get an answer, we can't give you a very good one because we need more information on your dog.
Yeah. Is he a platinum, which is a lilac and tan covered in cream? That's a platinum. That's the only way a platinum can be, is a lilac and tan covered in cream.
Susan Woland says, my vet did 4 tests starting at day 8, then every few days, went from 1 to 1.3 in 10 days. She's at 5, and 2 previous litters. I missed the timing in the last cycle. So here's a great piece of information that a lot of you are not doing, and that is, you go get these tests done. You think you know when you want to breed. The vet says, or you say, hey, bingo, at the right time. You get the semen in, or you put the 2 dogs together, you breed the dog, and then here's the mistake that you make. You do not run another progesterone test. And that's the mistake, because a lot of these dogs stall out. They were at a 5, you'd think that 2 days later you should breed that dog, and you do that, but in fact the dog stalled out, and it went backwards. It's at a 3, or it stayed at a 5. The point here is you flat don't know. And the only way that you categorically know that you're in the right place is when you think you're finished, you confirm it with a progesterone test to make sure those numbers are high. And when I say high, on an IDEX machine, they're at least a 20. and on a fine care machine that are at least 25. And if you don't do that, you will miss out on some of your litters. So that's that. I think if you get nothing else out of this today, that's a good piece of information. Stillo 951. Thank you for all the videos. You've helped guide us through 2 litters. Definitely skip the first heat. How many litters would you recommend her to have in total? That's a good question. So, Tami, what do you think on the number of litters?
We asked our vet that one time. And when we're doing a C-section, we always ask, how's the scarring? How's, their insides?
How's it look?
Yeah. Is she looking good? And if he says she's doing great, and when you get her home and you've got the puppies raised and she bounces back up like she was running and playing and being her old self, you could probably breed her again. And I would say there's a lot of people that quit at 3 litters, but if they're still healthy and active, and you could probably do at least 2 more and be happy with that.
I think that it's similar to humans. You've got some people who at 50 are sitting on the couch and they're kind of done, and you've got some people at 85 who are still skiing. I mean, it varies by people, and it doesn't. So when will your dog be done? If the last litter was a success, and when I mean a success, did you enjoy it? Was she a good mum? Did you find homes for the puppies? Was it a pleasurable experience? If all those things are a plus, then I would sincerely think about breeding again. Mm-hmm. If you're starting to get small litters, if the doc says, oh, our insides are looking a bit rough, all of these things say either wait a cycle or don't, or call it done. Mm-hmm. So that might be 6 litters, and it might be 1 litter.
Yeah.
Right.
Kit is bred again, and this is her 3rd time, and I keep on thinking, maybe she's trying to tell us that she might be done, because it took her a whole year, almost a year and a half before she had another heat. I thought she was done. And so this round, she's, walking around and sitting like an old dog. So I think she may be telling us she's done with this next litter that she has, and which is May 12th, she's going to be having babies. So that we're excited to see what she's going to have, and I'm going to have my whelper helping me with that too. So, but anywho, she's a sweetheart.
So Omar asked a subset to the question about this dog that he'd got, and this dog was carried a copy of Testable, 2 copies of Cocoa, and 1 copy of Blue, and asking how would you get a new shade, and the answer is you need to breed that to another dog that at the very least carries little B and little CO. And since your dog carries 2 copies of CO and 1 copy of B, if you put that with another new shade, 50% of the dogs will be new shades.
And we have that new shade, Isabella, for you.
We've got
stud.
We've got a new shade. He's a new shade. Is Isabella, full fluffy.
Godstopper.
Yes, with tan points. He's gorgeous, isn't he?
That's one of our studs. And then we have a Rohan, which is a Rojo and tan boy, also full fluffy. Yes. So we've got the studs for you if you would like to.
And while we're talking about that, because we know it's our opportunity to advertise our products, of course, our studs with Cody, our son, he has a really fantastic program. He only charges you a small amount of the stud fee when you get rolling. He gives a guarantee on breedings, which means that the money that you spent for the deposit, if it doesn't work out, you get that towards any future breeding of your choice. And he gives you a free incubator if you pay off the stud fee within 50 days of AI. And every female puppy that you produce will be, for the lifetime of that puppy, can come back to us and get half price breedings. And it doesn't matter if you keep the dog or you sell the dog. That goes with the dog.
And he helps you select which stud that you want.
We help.
Babies,
we can hold your hand through the entire process.
Yeah.
The entire process, right?
Yeah.
I believe I have a chocolate fluffy in heat right now. She will be a year old May the 19th. It's her first heat. I want to breed her to Rossi, but wasn't too sure if I want to breed her because it's her first heat. No, I think I'd try that. I mean, look, here's the deal. She's in heat right now. So let's say that she's ready to be bred in another 10 days. That gets you close to May the 19th to being a year old. I mean, I'd give it a shot. I don't think you're going to get any trouble with this. You may not get a bred, but I don't think that you're going to get in a situation where, there's something terrible happens. So for me personally, I'd do it. A lot of people would be more conservative and say no, but I would definitely try this. So D. Dover said, it replied to Omaha, they have to at least carry tests for the blue. Well, I mean, that's not exactly true because he wants to produce a new shade. And a new shade doesn't have to have blue. A new shade would be little co, little b. So you're right. At the very least, the other dog has to carry both little b and co. And if you get the little d to kick in there as well, then you've got yourself a new shade Isabella.
Someone said they blue and tan have a blue and tan merle bred to a blue covered in cream female carrying brindle, direct daughter of one of Love My Pups studs. Had 2 pups, 1 blue fawn with tan points and a blue reverse brindle. Blue reverse brindles are very pretty.
Yes.
But let me mention again, none of our studs have brindles, so it must be, it says her female was carrying brindle.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, right, yes.
Yeah, so you get half and half in that litter, half brindle and
I mean,
half.
reverse brindles do look pretty, but the trouble is they wipe out the tan points. That's the bad side
But I
of it.
bet that's those pretty puppies, though.
So Susan Woolen here says, anybody here bred golden doodles? Well, chime in if you have. So if you want to have a conversation about, we love golden doodles.
Yeah, my sister has a couple of golden doodles, and her daughter has a
And she had a couple of litters from them.
Yeah.
Very successful for her. A lot of fun. Beautiful dogs.
They're
smart
so
dogs.
smart.
Smart dogs, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Right. Elisa Lujan says, what's a good breed DNA test? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, so if you're asking for what test you can get to authenticate what the lineage of your dog is, and then Embark does a test where it shows you the percentage of what your dog is, 95% French Bulldog and 5% Chihuahua, for instance. The problem with all those tests is they're not real tests. Well, they're real tests, but the way they work is they look at a sample of dogs in America, see what their genetic composition is for the ones that are 100% Frenchy, and look for those markers. The problem gets to be when you import a dog from Europe, that it may come back as being less than 100%, where really it is 100%. And I mean, for me, can you tell when a dog looks like it's a French Bulldog?
Yes.
Yes, right.
There's
can you tell
no mistaking.
Can you look at a dog and say, yeah, there's some Boston in that one or something else? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think Tami's better than the Embark test. Seriously.
No.
Yeah, I do.
No.
So, I'm going to give you an example here. We had our first fluffy girl, and when we got her, we did an Embark test on her. And I can't think of her name now. But anyway, she came back 100% French Bulldog, so we were happy. But was she imported dog? She wasn't, was she?
No.
No, but she was 100% French Bulldog, so we were happy to see that. That's the only one I've had Embark tests in all this time. All of our other dogs, I just have no doubt about.
I think her dad was, or something.
Yep, right.
Was imported.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, if you're just doing a DNA test, animal genetics. Who's the other? Well,
you do a DNA test. You got
Embark will do it too.
Embark will do it. UC Davis, VetGen, Paws and Prints.
But who James and I used and have for years is animal genetics.
And the reason for that is number one, we've got history with them. We've had a few occasions where we know the test they've run was not correct. They've never questioned it. They've always gone ahead and run another test.
Redo it without charging you.
Yeah, if you've got a dog that you didn't get all the tests done and it's 2 years later and you want to have a test done, they've got the DNA sample. They run, because they charge you for it, but they'll run the test within a day. You'll get the results.
On that one, they will.
And they are super. They are by far. Here's the problem with VetGen. And I've used VetGen before. It's like 8 weeks later to get results. Guess what? Puppies have already left.
Yeah.
Or
you haven't sold them, and then that delays your selling them because people want to know what the DNA is.
Or you sold the dogs and told them it's something. I think this dog is this, and it's not. Or the dog was more than what you said, and you lost out on the other end. Animal genetics. I think they're all good, and there's very little difference in price. But the thing that animal genetics is quick.
James and I do the DuClaw to send the DNA test in with animal genetics, and you can do that at 4 and 5 days old. Do the DuClaws, and
there's no contamination. There's no cross-contamination with doing swabs when they've been drinking off mum. So, hey, Cody, come on in here.
Yeah, my son just came in. Yeah, this is Cody with My Breeder
I think you should stay there, Cody.
Wait a minute,
seriously.
stand right here. I'm going to advertise your website for your dogs, your puppies.
So Cody, he is the mastermind behind My Breeder Supply and the stud service.
Yeah.
So he knows a lot about this. He's being shy for some reason. I don't know why.
Come
But-
over here.
but-
I'm going to tell him about your. Okay. But
Okay.
anyway, he has My Frenchies of Texas because he used to live in Texas. So he already started his website of My Frenchies of Texas. So he's got puppies that are full fluffies and fluffy carriers. So if you're looking for a puppy, he's got them.
He's ready to deal too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready to deal. Right. And you buy a female from Cody, and that female gets half price breedings for the rest of that dog's life, which is a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. We were talking about
Okay.
DNA.
They were still
when
asked
we
questions.
do
My
do
female
it.
was AI twice, and in-law led her out to the bathroom with my bully, and he tied with her. Some puppies are his color, and a couple are from the stud we used. Yes, well, guess what? You're going to have to do a DNA. So on that, what you've got, that may be what you're asking about. So for that, you've got to go do, if these are AKC dogs, or if you want to get AKC registration, you're going to have to go to the AKC and go get a DNA parentage on all the puppies and the 2 males. It's going to cost you about $45 a dog, and they won't accept anything else. And then you have a dual registration, or the ones that are basically mutt dogs, you don't register them, but that's what you're going to have to do. So, yeah.
Okay, here is
that, but
okay.
Right.
Here is a question. Hi, James and Tami. Have you ever heard of brucellosis being transmitted via
By AI? Well, we've never had an experience. Have you ever had an experience? Cody's never had an experience infecting a dog with brucellosis.
Via AI?
Via AI. But
Well, there would be no...
There's no contact.
The reason that Jody doesn't have a problem is that Cody, all the dogs that come to visit Cody, automatically, before anything happens, he goes out there, draws some blood, and gets a brucellosis test done. And
before the dog is ever left with them.
5 minutes later, he knows whether that dog's got brucellosis. Because if it has brucellosis, it's not staying on the property, and it was never on the property; it stayed in their car. That's the first thing.
All of our studs are clear. If you've got an STD or brucellosis via AI, then the stud.
Absolutely.
I bet they can't hear him.
Yeah. So coming closer here, you can. Yeah.
So if you had a brucellosis contracted from an AI situation, then the stud had to be the carrier. But if your studs are clean, then there's no way if you're getting an AI. If you're asking what could the brucellosis be passed?
The answer is yes.
If the stud's clean,
no.
Then it can't be. But if the stud's not clean, absolutely it could.
And that's why you should ask people who are using your studs you're using, have you brucellosis your dog in the last 6 months? Because that's what Cody does, and that's what anybody who knows what they're doing will get done. The problem with brucellosis is it's a virus. A dog can get it by contaminated semen, which is what we're talking about, licking a dog, a dog sneezing on it, or even drinking out the same bottle could contract brucellosis. And the bad part about brucellosis is you probably won't know the dog has got it until it has a litter and the puppy starts showing up dead.
And Cody always uses a teaser female from his stock that he knows none of ours have, they've been brucellosis tested. And so
most of our studs don't even require teasers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
but if he ever had to, it would be a teaser dog from our stock.
So Cody's very careful. Number one, that your dog doesn't get into trouble. We don't know anything about your dog. We don't know whether your dog's aggressive or shy. We don't even want to run those risks. So Cody is going to completely separate your dog. It will stay. If you leave the dog with us, it's going to be housed in a completely separate area from any of our dogs. And the only contact it's going to have with our dogs is through an AI rod. That's it. That's it. And that has proven. So we've been doing this for what now? 15 years of AI. I mean, thereabouts. Have we ever had a dog that Cody's shaking his head like this? Have we ever had a dog that has got brucellosis? Or no? Have we ever had a dog that we think has got a sexually transmitted disease from breeding with one of our dogs? No.
No. So many times that you'll see people at shows with a female they have no story about, or you don't know anything about that stud, and they're letting them do a free breeding right there. And it's like so easy to come in contact with brucellosis that way if that one of those male or females carrying brucellosis.
So we got 19 thumbs up.
Very careful.
We want to get to 50. Let's have some thumbs up, folks.
And we sell the brucellosis test on MyBreederSupply.com.
How much the brucellosis test, Cody? I think it's like $70 for 5 tests.
Yeah. And
they've got a shelf life of over a year.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's easy to do.
We sell those on MyBreederSupply.com.
Yes. Bellen says, are you DI?
I don't know what
What's
DI means.
What's DI?
Are you DI?
Nobody knows what you mean.
No.
Sorry. Adan says, hey, my 2-day-old puppies have bloody stools. I've missed 2 feeds. Please help. Anybody want to comment on that?
No, you do it.
Well, look, first thing is, if you've got a puppy that's missed 2 feeds and it's not eating, first thing to do is put your finger in the puppy's mouth. If it sucks, it's warm, and it's moist, that at the very least can take a bottle. If it's not sucking, you're going to have to tube feed this puppy. There's no two if ands about it. If you don't tube feed this puppy, 2 days from now it'll be dead. So first thing is, you've got to get the dog fed, hydrated, and get food in its belly. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as far as the stool is concerned, I think that these are only 2 days old. So I wouldn't do it. You're not going to do surgery on a dog. You're not going to go give any. You're not going to give any medications at this point. See if you can get the dog to be gaining weight, and then start worrying about the stool if it keeps on going. And if it keeps on going, I suggest you go to the vet.
Cody, do you know a Sam S? He says, hey, Cody, thanks for all of the My Breeder supply items. We have a refurbished incubator ordered. Looking forward to getting it. Sam S says that.
What the hell?
Appreciate your business.
Yes, he said, appreciate your business.
What the hell's a refurbished incubator? Is that one that other puppies have been in?
No.
No. All of the
No.
refurbs that we have are blemished, is what it is. What he's calling it, a refurbished. We don't sell refurbished.
Yep, it's a blemish.
Blemished are just
got a little ding on the side of it somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just
Miscoloration of some plastic, something that's completely non-functional.
What do they call it at the furniture store? Dent and ding.
Yeah,
That's the only.
it's cosmetic. It's
yeah.
completely 100% functional. It comes with the same warranty as the other incubators. It's just we want them to be perfect, and if not perfect, and I mean they can have the tiniest little thing on it. We call it a blemish.
Most time, the customers.
We call that a refurbished.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Even Dante says, "Are you guys swingers?" Cody is.
What?
Are you guys swingers?
Who says that? We're
says,
swinging. I'm a swinging.
That's about as close as we're going to get to swinging. Good Lord, Dante. You're going to block you off the damn site. You can ask questions like that. And these are breeding questions, but not about Tami and me.
Yeah. My dog recently got mated with a 19.8 progesterone level.
Yeah.
And natural.
Good.
I was wondering what's the likelihood of her getting pregnant if
Very
she
good.
only did it once.
Where's that one?
She did not allow the male to mate again. She was done. She's probably at her very highest point on if you had a progesterone test done, and she was through. She had enough of him.
Dan's talking about the DI
I have
comment.
enough of you.
Yeah, and it says it's just DNA talk. So I guess the DI was like my blue with intensity or something like that.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, she probably got pregnant. If she's a first-time mama,
you're getting ahead of me on these.
You
on these things,
you'll see a nipple change, and that'll come within about 3 weeks. You'll start seeing her nipples changing if she's a first-time mama.
So what Tami's talking about is new
Her
dogs,
teats.
never been bred before. Their teats are almost flat to their chest.
That's what I just said.
And they grow about that much.
Yeah.
Yes. And then your comment here about she didn't allow him to mate to the male again. That's because she was out of the heat at that point.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
So Tami jumped forward. Sam S says,
I've already done that one.
"Oh,
Sam S on about the incubator.
I want to know.
No, okay.
This
He's
will be our first
asking
time
again.
Frenchie breeding. Everything I've seen in your videos, it looked like 5 NG, and I want to make sure I understand that the best progesterone levels are for AI." So this is relevant to what we're talking about. I'm going to take this one in some detail here. So the thing is if you get stuck on a single number, 5, for instance, and you breed off that, you've got a very good chance you're going to get screwed. Well, your dog's not. He's going to get screwed and not have puppies. Because the whole point here is it doesn't matter. Different machines read at different levels, and it sounds crazy, but if you go use a mini Vitus, you're breeding on a 28 versus if you're breeding on a IDEX, you're breeding on a 15, and they're both reporting this in nanograms per milliliter. What the hell is going on? The answer is I don't know why. It frustrates the hell out of me, but it doesn't matter. Because what you're looking for, the important part about this, is that you see a slow increase in progesterone that all of a sudden makes a rapid change. This point where that rapid change happens, this point right here where the rapid change happens, that is probably ovulation, and you'd expect to breed that dog 2 days later. And then what you want to do, so this would normally be 5 on an IDEX. then the next day an 8, and the day after that a 15. So it's gone up, 7 points where it's taken 10 days to go even jump up 5 points. It's gone up like crazy. This is the point. This knee is the thing you're looking for. It doesn't matter whether you're reading in elephants per gallon or kittens per pound. What you're looking for is a dramatic increase in that number. And that tells you that 2 days later you should be breeding. And then the last thing to do is do another test and make sure those numbers have gone up and keep on going. Because if they haven't, you may have slipped back. You may have to start breeding again.
DBOS Furry Friends said, Cody, I have a beautiful Buble daughter. Thanks, guys. Cody, did you hear me? DB, D as in dog, BOS Furry Friends said, Cody, I have a beautiful Buble daughter. Thanks, guys. He said, you're welcome.
And he also corrected me. He says that it's $94 for 5 tests. So there you go. Thank you. Someone's smarter than both Cody and me on this. Thank you.
Cody doesn't think that's right. $95 for the brucellosis test. Oh, okay.
Cody's saying, yeah. Mate,
he says there's right.
It's on the website. Look, go to www.mybreedersupply.com. Cody's got tons of things there. They're all things that all of us, Cody, Tami, me, our daughters, we all use these things on a regular basis. Otherwise, they'd not be on My Breeder Supply. And some of these things you just flat can't buy anywhere else, like a heated whelping kit, a shipmate containers, our portable incubator. You won't find those anywhere else. You won't find them. They're our product. They're made by us. Some of those things are even patented by us. So take advantage of those things because they really work well.
Okay, so somebody's asking, God Forum is asking, any pics of the new studs up?
So the answer to that is that we're very close to getting those dogs online. In fact, Gobstopper has been used by us with a confirmed pregnancy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we haven't released any.
He's definitely confirmed that he's a daddy for sure because kits due the 12th of May.
And I took some videos here about 2 weeks ago, but they kind of sucked because the conditions that we were taking, it was very hot outside, and I want to use lots of excuses, but I haven't released those videos, and so I'm probably going to do it again. So we're probably looking a couple of weeks away.
Let's see, what can you do in a silent heat? What can you do in a silent heat?
Shh, be quiet.
Not anything.
How would you know?
You have to wait. How do you know she has a silent heat? You don't know. That's why they call them the silent heat.
Well, you would know if you did a progesterone test, but that's the only way you'd know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so this is the problem with silent heat.
Not unless she swelled and showed no blood, I guess. I don't even think they swell, do they?
Well, none of it's truly silent because otherwise they'd be shouting it out with a poofed up rear end. So this is the funny thing about silent heats is that, if people talk about silent heats, the only way that you know you've got a silent heat is to do a progesterone test.
Michael says no blood. Yeah, no blood. That's a silent heat.
So
I don't know how you know.
If you've got a dog that's other dogs are being receptive towards it, it's showing interest in other dogs, but it doesn't show any other signs. I don't want to project, especially if it's been 5 to 7 months since its last heat, so you're kind of in the window. I do a progesterone test. Where you are.
Okay, so
unusual situation.
Omar Robinson, how can I find out you guys studs feed?
So you can go to mbs.studs.com.
Go to My Breeder Supply.
My Breeder Supply.
Or go to My Breeder Supply.
Go to the menu and go to M as in mom, B as in boy, S as in Sam, .studs.
What? No.
MBS.
If you go to My Breeder Supply, there's a place on there that talks all about the studs, and you can go see how we do everything and all of the studs and all the information on them.
Just go to My Breeder Supply, drop down, click on MBS studs.
So on the left-hand side, there's a little pop-up window there. Pop on that, go to the studs, and there you go. And I think, Ronnie, you got currently 12 studs up there, Cody? About right?
Yeah.
12. 4 more in the wings, fixing to be shown here pretty darn quick too. And again, Cody's got some great programs, and he does so much more than what just about everybody else does. He holds your hand all the way through this process, and I hold your hand too.
That's a Buble daughter. Isn't she pretty? She is pretty. Yeah.
E.G.
Thank you for the picture.
Capital G says, one of my French eyes glows red with a camera flash, and the other one's eyes glow blue. What does that mean?
I'm looking at a Buble daughter that this woman said.
Unfortunately, doesn't mean anything of any interest.
She's so cute.
So if you are going to go do this eye glow test, dark room, video on your phone with the light on, and you will see this red demonic glow, especially in older dogs, that will be there just about all the time. The occasional flash of color is just an artifact, and unfortunately does not mean your dog is chocolate. And the blue confirms that too. So I ask people, say, what does it mean if it flashes blue or it flashes green? It doesn't mean squat. What you have to see is a dog that has got this absolute, I mean, if you see this in a dog that's a year old, it looks demonic. I mean, it looks like a devil dog. It's wild. And you won't see that unless you might see it in light a little bit, but it is completely obvious when you do a video, not a flash, but a video with the camera light on. If you do a flash, the whole bet's off.
I'm not understanding that question.
So M says, I'd love for you and your laws to do a segment on Doodles DNA. And we're just not equipped for this. I mean, it's the problem with this is that I just don't know enough about this. So I have to go spend the next 10 years raising doodles to know the kind of things I know about Frenchies. So unfortunately, we're not going to be much use to you on this. I'm sorry. And look, we've got 30 likes now. Let's have 10 more. Come on, you can do it.
Johnson's Poodles and Labs. Yes, you're asking if because of her nipple change, you think she's pregnant. Very likely she is, but sometimes there's a false pregnancy. So just keep on watching her. Like in Frenchies, their ribs, those babies are up in their ribs, and then they start moving down, and you'll start seeing a widening in the ribs.
So let's talk about what the dangers are here about thinking a dog's pregnant when it's not, or vice versa. If you think your dog's not pregnant, and in fact it's got a singleton puppy in there, you can really get a big puppy in there. It's got plenty of nourishment. It's been sitting in there without any competition. It's a big puppy, got a big head, can't pass through the birth canal, and it gets stuck.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
So that's one thing. The second one is that your dog is in fact not pregnant. You think it is. You have a C-section done, and you open your dog up to the tune of $1,000 or more to find out that your dog's gone through an operation unnecessarily and there's no puppies inside. So if there's any doubt about this, before you have a C-section, the obvious answer is, and the thing you should do is get an x-ray done. If your dog's obviously pregnant, you did a relaxin test, it came back positive, dog's blown up like a basketball, showing all the signs of being pregnant, you don't need an x-ray. But if you're not sure, you best be getting an x-ray done. It's not expensive, and it will confirm what the heck's going on. So do not get caught in one of those two situations. Unnecessary C-section, stuck puppy in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Well, she said her male didn't leave her alone, but never tied and never had insertion that I saw. Now her nipples are changing. Could she be pregnant? Well,
that I saw.
Yeah, that she saw.
That I saw. There's the problem.
Yeah.
If your dog got pregnant without the other dog doing insertion, then you have what do you call that? An immaculate conception. You've got yourself a Jesus dog.
Sometimes they think they're pregnant, and because they went through the whole rushing around and
playing
around.
Absolutely. But I mean,
and so she may
dogs,
be having
dogs can get tied up and not get pregnant too, but they can't get pregnant without getting tied up. That is a fact. You can't get pregnant unless they tied up. You can't have babies unless you have sex, right? Same thing, right? So, so the answer is, if you're not sure, go get a test done. You can do a relaxin pregnancy test. Cody sells those on My Breeder Supply, and you can do that at day 30, and they are extremely reliable. I do not see false positives for those tests.
Okay, somebody said red eye glow. VS is
blue eye glow.
Blue eye glow.
Blue eye glow means nothing. Nada. Doesn't mean anything. Red eye glow is the only thing that helps, and it tells you that either dog's got 2 copies of CO or 2 copies of little b or both. That's it.
It's 15 months now. Okay. Cute.
So I have a Malinois that has just turned 2. She's had a false pregnancy after every heat. Do you think this will stop after the first litter? I don't know. So this false pregnancy thing is interesting. You can have a dog that has not been bred, is not going to have puppies, but it goes through all the signs to the point where it's lactating and it has contractions. I've never seen it, but I've read about it. Supposedly it's true. So the answer is, you can really get caught out on this, and that's why the X-ray is important. And will your dog stop doing that? Probably, but I don't know that's true.
Somebody's Chihuahua got a hold of their Frenchie, and they had the tiniest, 5 tiniest puppies last week, no problem. I bet that's pretty cute. You're going to have to send me a picture of that. That sounds awful cute.
What would you call
Chihuahua
that?
Puppy.
Chienchi? A free Wawa.
Cheap Frenchie.
I call that a free Wawa.
Cheap Frenchie.
No, a free Wawa. I've got me a litter of free Wawas. Well, I'd love to see a picture of those. Maybe you're onto a new thing here.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many days after seeing blood do you get a PG test? Okay.
Welcome to Dip's World. Asked that question.
Yeah.
Yes. So good. You're asking a question that's relevant to what we're supposed to be talking about. We appreciate that. PG.
How many days after seeing blood do you get a PG test?
Yeah, 2 dips.
After you see blood.
Yes. So Cody's saying 7.
7 to 8 days.
7 to 8 days, Cody says.
If you go with 7, you probably missed it.
Yes.
So they don't always have to
You're going to have to
express
repeat
all
it because I
signs.
can't hear you.
Yeah, you got to get closer here, Cody, so I can hear you.
They
So
don't
what?
always express all the signs because they could swell or have bleeding, vice versa.
Right.
But I tell all of our customers, have your dogs do your baseline test between day 7 and 8.
And sooner if your dog goes light on you and discharge. So discharge color is a pretty good indicator of what's going on at the gross level. And I don't mean gross, it means being horrible, but I mean in terms of the big picture. So a dog, typically, they will start to thin out on their blood color about the time they're ovulating, which is typically around day 9. And that's why Cody's saying day 7. Look, you're much better off getting an early test than doing what we did today, which was to test at day 7 to find out the dog's at a 45 and it's a day past due. So, yeah. So, day 7, I mean, it's very, 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 very rare that somebody comes to us when we've recommended to do something on day 7 and they come back with a high number. Very, very rare. But it's possible. But the other part about this is pay attention to blood color. Because if the blood color is lightening up, get a test done sooner. If it's a murder scene, you can probably go to day 8 or 9. But, generally it's better to get one early than late. Well, it's always better to get one early than late.
Furry Friends said we do first PG at day 7.
There you go. like it.
And then the little Chihuahua Frenchie, somebody says it's called French Bullhanas.
Frenchie Bullhana.
Bullhana.
No,
For-
Bullhuanas. I like my free hook.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Catherine Griffin just sent us a question mark. I'm not sure. I'll just give it.
That's what I see
Catherine
every
Griffin
day
answer.
with James,
I'll give
a
you
question
answer.
mark.
What might give and I asked my wife that with a question mark. She just says no. Don't do that shit. So that's what I get back. Hey, we've got 38 likes. We're going to shut this down here in about another 5 minutes. Can we get like 5 more likes? I want to get to at least 40, please. Come on. We can do it. And VOXXY says, what the? So they didn't understand what we're talking about either.
No.
Okay,
my dog has a copy of Pied. Would her litter come out with some Pied? Only if you bred another dog that carries Pied or is a Pied.
So give us the statistics. If you bred to a fully pied dog with a pied carrier, what would you get?
A fully Pied dog to a Pied carrier?
Yes.
Wouldn't you get maybe a couple of them carrying Pied?
You'd expect everyone to carry pied or be pied 50-50.
Okay. Right.
If you bred a pied carrier to a pied carrier, 25% of the dogs will be fully pied, and then 50% will be pied carriers, and 25% won't have any pied at all. And if you breed to a non-pied dog, then you're going to get with a pied carrier, then half the dogs will carry pied, but they won't show it. And when I say they won't show it, of course, a pied dog is a dog that's a white background with spots on it of different colors, right? Or whatever the base color is, blue or chocolate or fawn or brindle. But typically a dog that's a pied carrier will have a white chest, and that's normally a giveaway that a dog does carry a copy of pied. And by the way, people say, oh, don't breed pieds to pieds. Just don't breed what we call extreme pieds to any kind of a pied. A dog that has no color on its head or very little color on its head, and you breed that to get other pieds can run you into trouble. So be careful with those dogs. Now other people say, oh, I don't want pied dogs. It's like, doesn't worry me in the least bit, because you can completely control what you get out litter-wise with a pied dog by choosing the stud or the female you're breeding to. So what happens to us, Tami, when we have pied dogs in a litter?
I don't know. I was finding this woman's
What happens
question.
to us when we get some pied dogs in a litter?
Oh, that'll be the first one to sell. That's what Cody said too. First to sell. He's had a litter happen like that, and it was the first one to sell.
They don't necessarily sell for more.
We've had 2 or 3 litters like that, and those are the first ones to sell.
They don't necessarily sell for more money. Well, actually, they might sell for more money because they're the first to sell, which is before anybody's starting to, they're 10
Well, they're
weeks.
very eye-catching.
Oh,
it's like
beautiful.
a painted pony, like your merles.
I love them.
Stuff like that.
Especially ones that are marked up pretty.
Yeah.
I love them. I mean, I mean, you give me a Merlepide, I'm gaga.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Catherine Griffin, this is why she had a question mark. She said, scroll up. So that's what I was doing when you had that question.
Gotcha.
Here it is. Read it.
Female went to heat a few days ago. Males were my indicator. The first progesterone test wanted for a marker. She was a 36. I'm just like, maybe silent heat. Your thoughts? Okay, so first off, what's the machine? If that's a fine care machine, breed right now. On a 36 on a fine care machine, you'll probably get a pregnancy out of it. I mean, the optimum, Cody, if you did a single breeding on fine care, what would you want for the number of a single breeding on a fine care?
One breeding.
One breeding.
I would say one breeding on a fine care, 22.
I said 25. We're really close.
Yeah,
exactly. What would you say is the cut? So what is, if it's a 22, what would you expect the numbers to be the next day?
Ooh, and that it could change drastically.
No, but it's going to go up by what, 70%?
If it goes up.
Well,
if it goes up, I would expect her to be 28 to 30.
Yeah, or I would say a 35, and I'm saying breed that dog. So you're probably a day outside the window. You probably still get a litter out of it. I'd breed the dog, but don't wait. Don't wait on this. You've got to breed that dog right away, or do a surgical or a transcervical insemination, because you can do those a day later, and that is a good number for those, by the way.
Yeah, I do a TCI.
Yeah, do a TCI, right? And we like TCIs a lot more than surgical, don't we? Because surgicals, you've got to open the dog up, less invasive, you've got problems with infection, it costs a lot more money, you put the dogs through anesthesia. There's all kinds of reasons why TCI to us just makes a lot more sense. We're getting towards the end of this.
Okay, what age would you stop trying to get a female pregnant if she is 3 and I keep missing?
Keep going.
Keep
I do a blood
trying,
test.
Yeah.
Make sure there's not something whacked out like a high thyroid level.
Yeah, there's sometimes they get a high thyroid level and they won't get pregnant.
And then the
so
second thing would be, is, are you breeding to the same stud every time? Because if you are, stop, breed to a different stud. And the third thing is make sure that the semen that you're using is good and it's mobile, as opposed to being there's nothing there or it's not moving. And the third thing is get your timing right. The biggest thing that we see in a failure of a litter is timing. So timing right and quality semen done correctly will get a dog pregnant almost always. I mean, when I say almost always, 90% success rate when you do it properly.
Okay, read this one about the 5 to 7, that one.
Andrew Goodwin says, I've lost 5 of the 7 puppies. She went from a PG level of 4.75 to pregnant within 12 hours. How could I have prevented this? It was a PG machine you sell. Should I have PG everything once she got... Well, okay, so I think there's different things here. So the first thing is you had a litter of 7 puppies. That means that you got the dog pregnant correctly. So let's get the fine care thing off the table, because there was nothing wrong with that end. You got that done perfectly. Now, you lost puppies at the other end. So I'm assuming that 7 puppies are born, now you've only got 5 of them. And so the question is...
She's saying that her PG level, she's saying she did a C-section or started PG level? What's it say? Yeah, it says PG level at a 4.75.
You think that's a C-section?
Yeah, I think it's a C-section question.
So, okay, so Cody's probably got it correct there. So I think what you're asking here is you got the dog pregnant successfully, but now you did a C-section on a 4.75. No, that's not the right place to do a C-section. So when do you do it? So this is a huge thing about, and I would guess 10 to 15% of puppies are born early and they have bad consequences. And some of those puppies will then die. And typically they don't die immediately. They die 48, 2 to 3 days later. They start gasping for air and they die because their lungs have not developed properly. Don't have what's called a surfactant level to unstick their lungs, and their lungs can't inhale air properly. And you would think that 2 days would not be a problem, because we used to humans having babies 3 months early, go into neonatal and they're fine. Not the case with puppies. 2 days early, you're going to be in a bad place. 4.75 is too high a number. And you need to go look at, I've got a number of videos out there that talk about when to get the timing right for a C-section. And I promise you, 20% of vets don't know what the right time is. And they'll make the first sign of that you're going to potentially get in trouble is when a vet says to you, oh, we did the AI today, come back on a particular day for a C-section. So they are scheduling a C-section, probably 61 days or 60 days from when they did the procedure. And that is a place that can absolutely get you in trouble. Why? Because you may have AI'd on the wrong date, and that does not affect the whelp date, it just affects the number of puppies. So there's more in this than I can explain to you in just a couple of minutes before we shuttle this down, but I can tell you this. you need to pay close attention to when you're having a C-section. And you need to understand this yourself, because unfortunately, lots of vets will get this wrong. They'll make statements like, I won't be around Sunday, I can't do it on Sunday. You have to have a backup plan. But if it's Sunday's the right day, you need to either know that Saturday's okay to have the puppies, or you need to have somebody there to be able to take these puppies if that in fact is the day that she goes into to labor. So very, very careful on this. So yes. So let's just got a couple more questions here.
Well, it's past time.
It is.
Yeah.
But we'll do a couple. We'll just wrap this up. Pick the one that you think.
What day was it when you pulled? Somebody said that.
So somebody said,
that one that asked about.
The C-section and puppies.
No, his female.
Yeah.
3 times he's tried to breed. He says he's tried 4 different studs, and somebody said something about when was it you pulled from the? Okay, what day was it when you pulled?
I'm not sure what that question
puppies? I don't either. It says I would pull from them.
I'm trying to get back.
I don't know.
So get back to questions. Can I get yours for the questions?
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember, Cody has puppies for sale. Full fluffies and fluffy carriers. No brindle, remember. We don't have brindle in our program. Lots of tan points there. So anywho, his website is My Frenchies of Texas. He is in Oklahoma, though. And his phone number is his phone number is 806-664-0173. Please, if he does not answer his phone, please leave a message and send a text, and he'll definitely get back to you.
So Catherine, George said hi 5 times. We'll say hi.
Yeah.
6 times. Somebody else here, does the dog's toenail color tell you what color it is? No.
Not the toenail color.
No, doesn't tell anything about it. No.
DNA.
Yep.
Animal genetics. All our supplies are on mybreedersupply.com. That's for sale. And our studs are on there to find out about the fees and about what they carry.
Catherine Griffin says, thanks for the help, Tami. You look hot.
Who?
Catherine Griffin thinks you look hot.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate, let's have a look here. For the 70 people who've been following us, we appreciate that. For the 41 subscriptions, likes that we got, we like that too. Again, go to mybreedersupply.com. There's some great products there that can really help you out, make your life much easier. If you're looking for a puppy, Cody might be your person for that too. His number's 806-664.
Great sales coming up in April.
Great sales are coming
we got some good stuff.
Got some sales going to be happening on My Breeder Supply beginning of May.
Beginning of May.
All right, so
Check your emails, watch for ads.
Yep.
Check your emails and watch for ads.
Yep. All right. Hey, once again, thank you.
And you can also look for those ads on Instagram and my Facebook on my page, Tami Chopping.
If we didn't get to your questions, we apologize, but we'll put them up again. We'll get them to you next time. Or just go into YouTube and go on the videos and ask questions, then we'll answer them for you.
But you always can go to mybreedersupply.com to look for those specials.
And Tami, pull them up. You know what? You want to press the button. Bye, buddy. See ya.